Hey guys, this is God of Politics. Welcome back to a brand new video. But before we get started with this video, please like this video and please subscribe to this channel. Also, follow me on Twitter and join the Discord. Those will both be linked down in the description. But today we're going to be talking about Biden's VP choices. So that's obviously one of the big things, one of the really only political events surrounding Joe Biden that people are actually talking about. Joe Biden's, for the most part, stayed out of the spotlight, but one of the things that he's still getting talk about is who he will pick for his vice presidential option. He's already committed to picking a woman as his vice presidential option. He committed to that during the primary, and now he has started the vetting process. He started to vet a couple people, but as this George Floyd death has happened, obviously there's a unarmed black man killed by a white police officer in Minnesota, and now there are nationwide protests about it. It has actually changed the race for Biden's VP options. We'll talk about it in this article a little bit, this Politico article here, what it says about how the VP options could change based on some of these candidates and their history. It's talking about how the potential running mate, the race is kind of shifting up. It says, but three of those candidates, Senator Kamala Harris, Representative Val Demings, and most notably Senator Amy Klobuchar, now find their records under new scrutiny in a presidential race transformed in the wake of a national outrage surrounding Monday's death over George Floyd under one knee of a white Minneapolis police officer. So obviously, if you don't know, Amy Klobuchar was a prosecutor. I think she was a district attorney. Um, she was a district attorney during the another death of the same guy who killed George Floyd, Derek Chauvin. The same guy who killed George Floyd was involved in another police shooting back in 2006, and Amy Klobuchar, then an attorney, district attorney, I believe, declined to prosecute him. So now she's receiving a lot of scrutiny for it, and this could hurt her chances for VP. And another one of the things that could change her chances is the fact that all these Black Lives Matter protests happening that really would probably motivate Joe Biden to choose someone who is black over someone that is white to avoid the negative media scrutiny. And so, if you're looking at certain candidates, you're looking at, for example, Amy Klobuchar, it's not looking like she is going to be the vice presidential pick anymore, but then you think, what candidates can we go to? Well, you think, well, we can go to a black candidate. For example, Kamala Harris, she's received a lot of criticism for a state attorney general and a local prosecutor calling her, Kamala is a cop, narratives designed to diminish and disqualify her in the eyes of the left. And so, obviously, if you remember the Democratic debates, you would probably remember Tulsi Gabbard had a very notable moment where she kind of, I guess you could say, sunk Kamala Harris's campaign by attacking her on her record as a state prosecutor. And this hurt Kamala Harris. It hurt her campaign. It was already in the decline, and it kind of accelerated her decline. Does Joe Biden want that poor negative media scrutiny by people, black people who aren't going to turn out for someone who they believe is a cop? And that could be a negative for him. And then the last, or not the last person, but another black person is Representative Val Demings from Florida. She was Orlando's first woman police chief who oversaw a department that had a history of criticism for using excessive force. This is a problem because, again, you have someone who's black, which can help, bring over voters and drive up turnout because you feel like they relate to you more. But then again, she is one of those people that is perceived as being a cop. And if you see what these protesters are, it's less about, hating white people and more about hating the cops, especially, at least from what I've seen. And so this is going to be really important because then you think, what other people of color are candidates that Joe Biden could choose? Then you obviously think, we get past Kamala Harris and Val Demings here, you think maybe Stacey Abrams is a candidate that Joe Biden could pick. But then again, Stacey Abrams would almost be like Sarah Palin, for example. Like if you remember back in 2008, Barack Obama, an inexperienced senator, picked a very experienced senator in Joe Biden here. And then John McCain picked the token woman and picked Sarah Palin, which turned out to be to his detriment. Joe Biden, I'm sure he's very well aware of this, does not want the same thing. He does not want to pick someone who's completely inexperienced, who, because he's pointed out he wants someone who can be president tomorrow, because in all likelihood, Joe Biden will not run for a second term. There's a real chance that he might not get through his first term. And so you really have to think, would he pick someone as inexperienced as this, or would he give them, say, a cabinet position, something like that? And if you actually look at the polls of black voters, what VP option they choose, number one is actually Elizabeth Warren, because many of these voters are young voters that supported Bernie Sanders that would now support Elizabeth Warren here. And so Elizabeth Warren's actually another option. You know, she didn't do well with black voters, but if black voters say that they're going to be more energized about her than about anybody else, then that could actually help her. But again, Joe Biden then says he wants someone that agrees with him on most of the issues, and Elizabeth Warren really, did not agree with him on most of the issues. And so this is really actually, quite a dilemma for Joe Biden, because he's actually, there's been some other people he's been interviewing. Actually, Catherine Cortez Masto, the junior senator from the state of Nevada, has opted out of going in the VP slot. And she was a woman of color. She was the first woman Latina senator, I believe. And then that's another woman of color out. Then you maybe could think Michelle Lujan Grisham, the governor of New Mexico, is another option there. But it really gets to be difficult in terms of who Joe Biden can pick, because he's probably going to get media scrutiny either way. Like, he could pick someone from the Rust Belt like Gretchen Whitmer or somebody like that, but then he'll get scrutiny for not picking a woman of color. They'll look at a person's record, seeing how they've treated with people of color, things like that. They'll find everything up about them, and that's Biden and his team stuff to do from the get-go. And so they probably will find someone. It's going to get media scrutiny, whoever he picks. But then again, I mean, he gets media scrutiny, and he survived more media scrutiny than most other people, except for maybe Donald Trump. So, or not necessarily media scrutiny, but just scrutiny generally, survived a lot of, gaffes and all things like that. And so this has been a short video, but I just wanted to discuss how the race for VP is kind of narrowing at this point, and it's really coming down to a couple of people. I do think that if I had to put my money on it, it would be Kamala Harris still, because although she was a prosecutor and things like that, I do, she is a black woman. She can bring out turnout in California, for example. That would probably most likely what would happen. She is black again, so that can bring a black turnout, or, yeah, she's black. Other ancestries though, but she can bring up black turnout there. So I do believe he's going to pick Kamala Harris. But again, anything is really possible at this point. I do almost certainly think he's going to pick a black woman, and I'm pretty sure he's going to pick Kamala Harris. So this is a short video here, but I just want to talk about the VP race. So thank you all for watching this video. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter and join the Discord. Those are both linked down in the description. So thank you all for watching, guys, and I will see you guys later.